Caleb Owens broadcasting live from the beautiful Monashee Mountains in Coldstream, British Columbia. Very excited today to be here from a sacred ground. I'm visiting my grandmother. It's been delightful. I am away from the toxic stench of Surrey and I hate it. I want to go back. I'm going back tomorrow. And as much as I love my family, I do not love nature. I do not like what you see behind me. I do not like the threat of cougars and bears at any moment coming to get me. I do not like it. So tomorrow morning we're heading back to the toxic wastes where I belong, and I couldn't be happier for that. The Okanagan is an interesting area for sure. Very beautiful, scenic, California-like. Troubled. I lived here for a while, about a year in like 2022 or 2023, and I was a major alcoholic. I drank away my apartment, and I fainted at Walmart where I was working. I was fired from Walmart for not working and being drunk. And those are fond times to reflect on when I'm here. There's something about the spirit of the Okanagan that's very much present in everything to do with it. Whether you're at the Village Green Mall or your aunt's pool or the lake, there's something here. I don't know what it is. There's not too much opioid epidemic. There's a little bit of opioid epidemic. It's not as much as Surrey or Vancouver, but I've certainly noticed that there's a spirit to the Okanagan, and it's not that stupid fucking lake monster they think exists. It doesn't. Ogopogo is a hoax. I think the culture here stems from the amount of sunshine people get, and I'm pretty sure it makes them brain damaged. If you go to Kelowna, or Vernon less so, you'll see a lot of really hot people with completely blank looks on their face, like they don't even know where they are or why they are. Similar to the look on like a bug's face, but it's a hot bug, and that's the Okanagan person. It's a culture of booze, drinking wine on the patio by the pool, getting messy, getting racist, talking about the immigrants who are not helping you at the Walmart customer service till, to your husband who's a retired construction salesman or a trade worker or whatever, and you used to work at, I don't know, Sears or something like that, moving couches around. It's a booze culture, not so much a drug culture. This place is full of red-faced, leather-tanned drunks. Which is probably why I fit in when I did. If you could say I fit in, I was kind of a hermit. But the Okanagan is the spiritual homeland of the Dewey, the DUI. The Okanagan is full of boomers, retirees, just having wine and getting wild at the luncheon. It's full of racists, bitter people with houses way too big that they're never going to sell because they hate their children, and strange people. I worked at a Chinese food court in Vernon with a fairy. I don't know if she was a fairy, but she said she was a fairy. She had multicolored eyes, and she would often talk about the simulation and mall world and how most people are fake and not real, which I completely agree with. We might come at it from different angles, me and that woman, but we kind of are on the same page. And I've enjoyed my time here. It's coming to an end. I go back to Surrey tomorrow. This mark on my face is acne. I haven't been shooting up heroin in my nose veins. I know some of you might be worried about that. Don't worry. I'm still clean and sober and happy, and oh my god, so grateful. Um, I was thinking, last night just about the classic Okanagan end. Because there's like, in every culture, every subculture, there's a classic end. Say you're a Vancouver guitarist, you end up a music teacher or a poor old busker. You're a hipster, you stay a hipster, but you get kind of bitter and lonely and more emo than anything. The classic Okanagan end, what I'm calling the Cokeanagan crash out, is you're 31, you're married, and you have a 2-year-old. Your 2-year-old is fat, and your wife, fiance, Ashley, let's call her Ashley with an Leigh, Ashley, is a waitress at Denny's. And when she's not at Denny's, she's usually not at your apartment. She's usually at her mom's house because her mom has a pool. And her mom doesn't like you and thinks you're trash, but you bring home the bills, you bring home the bread. You probably work in some sort of sales or mining or lumber. You're a tradesperson, you're a millwright. Maybe you're a foreman or a manager at some sort of business. And you have a drinking problem. It started with beers and those beautiful Kelowna summers back when you were a teenager. You just layered on the beer, and that was enough for you at the time. But the older you got, and when you started seeing Ashley, it didn't help because Ashley has a Coke problem, and you did Coke with her, and you drink hard cider, Okanagan hard cider, great brand. You got the grape kind, and you just chugged it back, and then you did a line, and you probably got into whiskey. Your father was a whiskey man. You're a whiskey man. And nowadays, when you don't have the kid, and when Ashley's at her mom's pool, you get your boat, little boat that you bought. You get a couple of buddies, a couple of high school friends, maybe a couple of work friends, and you go out on the Okanagan Lake and you drink on your boat, and you almost get into accidents on your boat. And you almost fall off the boat, or you do fall off the boat, and you think it's the funnest time ever. And by 1 a.m., it's just you and a buddy at the dock, and you're talking about how you just want to cheat on Ashley. And that's totally fine. The Cokeanagan crash out comes a bit after this period. The boating and the falling and the drinking and the Coke with your buddies, your late 20s, early 30s buddies. You have had a rough day at work. Your boss isn't respecting you. He's putting more on your plate than you can handle, and you feel weak for you can't handle the workload. You don't know if it's unfair or if you're just not enough. So you drive home. Maybe you're at a work site, so you drive up the Coquihalla, back up to Vernon, Kelowna, Penticton, wherever you lay your hat. And you get home, and the baby's in bed. It's about 10 p.m., 9 p.m., and Ashley has been laying it on thick. She has her white wine. She has her white Zin, the national wine of the Okanagan, the white Zinfandel, or Rosé Moscato, and she's drunk, and Oprah is blaring, and she's already been crying, and she says, "Why are you never home? I took care of little Jakin all day, and you are nowhere to be found, not answering my texts." And you start calm. You say, "Well, I'm working." I'm working, Ashley. I'm bringing home the bacon, bringing home the bread. But what Ashley doesn't understand is you had a rough day, and she keeps pushing. She keeps pushing you. She doesn't seem to care that you have offered this reasoning. She keeps pushing. You're never around. All you do is go out on the lake with Trevor and Jackson, and you just disrespect this house. Look how messy this house is. I couldn't even clean this house today because Jakin was in a mood. And you start to get angry, so you start hitting the bottle, and you go to the bathroom for a few bumps during the hour or 2 hour silence between you and your fiancée wife. And you go out on your deck and you stare at the Vernon lights. And you can hear her start to yammer her mouth on the phone, talking about she was in a fight with you, acting like you can't hear her when you're in the other room, and you've had enough. So you go in the living room and you start screaming at Ashley, and Ashley's friend on the phone can hear, and she's calling you a clown, she's calling you a goof, this and that. And Ashley is like, I never should have settled with my high school boo. I knew you wouldn't be enough for me. I want to see the world. I want to see the world, and you can barely provide me a home. She starts to get that quasi-Parkinson's women can get when they're freaking out. I wanted more than a home. I wanted to see the world and be a ballerina. And you get really pissed off, so you start screaming, bitch, I'll pay for this house. I'll pay for everything. Jakin's probably awake now, shaking in their little car's bed. And you start throwing plates. And because it's the Okanagan, this isn't a Vancouver damsel in distress. Ashley starts throwing plates back at you. And you're throwing plates at each other. And at this point, the friend on the phone has called the police, and you don't even care. You're in such a red rage. You're not listening to what's going on around you. You're just screaming, bitch, 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 and throwing plates at your wife's fiance. And she's throwing plates at you. Cunt, I should have fucked Trevor. I should have slept with your friend. Now, none of this is from personal experience, okay? Just so you know, before I carry on with the Cokeanagan crash out, I've never been in a loveless marriage. I have no kids. I just think it's fair behavior, and this is a cultural phenomenon that happens specifically in the Okanagan. I've heard about it. I've had friends go through it. It's just simple analysis, I guess. Unfortunately, one of the plates hits Ashley right in her temple, and she crumbles to the ground. In your head, you're thinking, what a dramatic bitch. And the quasi-Parkinson's is going again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't think it would happen like this. And the police arrive, and you're hiding in the patio or the garage. You're in the garage with your bottle of Jim Beam, drinking away, listening to Freebird. And you can hear Ashley being helped by the police inside your apartment. Ma'am, who did this to you? Is he in the house? Are you safe? Where's the kid? And you hear little Jakin talking to the police. Daddy and Mommy had a fight, and I was watching on the stairs, and Daddy threw the china at Mom, and Mom fell down, and they both were drinking adult juice, and Mom was watching Oprah, and you're just thinking, God, if the police take me away right now, it's not the worst thing. And like clockwork, the police come into the garage. They don't even have their guns out. They've seen this before. Classic Cokeanagan crash out. You had enough of Ashley and Jakin. You had one too many and you had a rough day at work. They just say calmly, "Sir, step out of the vehicle." And you think, I should just take another swig, and you think, I should just go with them. We've done this before. I'll just call my dad and get the bail, and we'll deal with it. Ashley always comes around. But something's in you tonight. You don't know what it is. It could have been the fight. It could be the booze and the coke. Could be Jakin's incessant, annoying little voice. Or it could just be the Okanagan. And you decide, I'm not going with them. Not today. If they're bringing me in, they're bringing me in today. I've had enough run-ins with the law. You probably start thinking about your rights. That's a very Okanagan thing. I have my rights, you say as you open the Bluetooth garage door and turn on your truck as the police take out their weapons. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle now, sir. Do not drive away. And you blare Freebird and you take off. You take off, charging down the hills of Vernon or Kelowna or Penticton, swerving past red lights, and accelerating at dangerous and reckless speeds, as that favorite song of yours blares. And you hit the bottle while you drive. You don't care. The police give chase. They're slowly behind you. You can hear the sirens. You can hear the megaphone speaker. Sir, pull over the vehicle now. And you just keep driving. It's a Cokeanagan crash out. You just keep driving. You're headed towards the lake, that lake you love so much, that lake you spend your time with your friends on your boat, fishing, talking. You're headed towards that lake. Because if you're going to be apprehended at gunpoint, you want it to be at the lake. There's something about the lake you just love, taking the boat out on the lake. We're going on the lake. And you've loved it since you were a child. And if it's all going to end here, your engagement to Ashley, your fatherhood over Jakin, it might as well end at the lake. So you drive and drive. And the cops try to swerve you off the road, but you're a good driver. You're a fast driver. You've been racing since you were a youngin'. And you don't see the corner coming because you're looking behind you at the 3-4 cop cars chasing you now. You don't see the corner. So you roll off the hill, bang your head against the glove compartment, against the steering wheel. You go flying. You didn't have your seatbelt on. And shortly before your truck, probably a Dodge or a Ram, shortly before your Ram that you're so proud of rolls into the lake, you're ejected from the driver's seat through the windshield, and you land on the beach. You land on the beach. Your legs are in weird directions. You're covered in glass and blood. You're barely clinging to life, and it's the happiest you've been in years. As the blood trickles out of your wounds and into the coarse sand, you think back on all those days on the lake. You think about when you met Ashley, when things were good, when you didn't want to throw a plate at her head. You think about how it felt to actually hit her with a plate, You've been thinking about that for a long time. Those plates are heavy, and she deserved it. You wonder what Jakin will think about you when he's older, when he hears about this. You wonder what's happening at the house now. Ashley's mom's probably been called over. She's consoling Ashley, who's in a state of hysteria. To be expected. Fair enough, you think. You're not unreasonable. And as the EMTs arrive and load you into the back of an ambulance, as your truck sinks into the Okanagan Lake, you think, this was worth it. This was worth it. I know I'll be in court now. I might go to jail for hitting my wife and running from the police and totaling my vehicle and driving recklessly. But it was worth it. Freebird's a good song. You just think about that while the EMTs are taking you to the hospital. It's a good song. No one can say it's not. It's a long hospital stay. Ashley doesn't come to see you. You served papers for divorce or your engagement is done. You face the judge and you've acquired moderate brain damage from your accident, but you're really no different because you're an Okanagan boy and you were always simple. The only difference now is you tend to drool and you wipe it up with a cloth, and that's not too bad. It's not too bad. You spend a couple months in the pen for aggravated assault, battery, whatever, DUI, just a handful of charges, and you do okay. You're in like a special pen with the other brain damaged people. Some of whom are probably just not brain damaged Okanagan people, but then you get an offer to go to a treatment center or a mental health facility to reduce your sentence. You do so, and you sit out in the smoke pit and you tell people like me how it all happened with your drooling and your changed accent. I was listening to Freebird, and I rolled over the hill. I rolled right over the hill. But maybe one day you get out, get in supportive housing, find a new girl, an older girl, also a waitress. That's the only thing that people do in the Okanagan is serve. And you wait a couple years, you start to heal up, and you do it all again. Except the next time, you're going in the lake with the truck, and you're not swimming out. Jakin gives a eulogy. My dad was a great man. He was always there for me. He had his challenges, but he worked through them, and even though he was not at peace in life, I'm glad he is at peace now. And your family weeps. Some of them weep. Ashley comes to the funeral. She thinks, what a guy, what a guy. Always the troublemaker, that one. And you go to Okanagan Heaven, which is just West Kelowna in the sky. I'm glad you could join me for this holiday edition of Caleb Owens Broadcasting. I thought I'd just tell a quick story about the Okanagan, about the region I'm vacationing in. I'm moving to Vancouver pretty soon. I'm quite excited, and I will see you all next week.